What's going on, everyone? Train Freak here, and today is layout update day, and this is going to be, I guess, the first layout update for the Delta Pines subdivision. Got a little bit done. Kind of worked in the staging area, which is where I'm starting off. Got a little bit of track laid to start with. But before we get into that, let me go over some announcements. Tonight we got Sidetrack Sunday, 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central, 6 o'clock Mountain, or 5 o'clock Western time. For you and the rest part of the world, you're just going to have to figure out, what time it actually is. But 8 o'clock Eastern tonight, Sidetrack Sunday, I will be hosting it. Not fully sure what I'm going to be doing. I'm thinking about, since I need to go ahead and get a round of bingo out, we'll go ahead and do that and try to award a winner. We might do it a little different for this round. Someone mentioned to me about doing what's called blackout bingo. And basically the last number standing wins. So I'm thinking about trying that tonight to see how it works, since this is an extra round, and then what we can do is, just do some good chit chat and some good Sidetrack Sunday fun. So 8 o'clock Eastern tonight, make sure you tune in. I will be hosting from in here in the new train room, so I'm excited about that, just to see how things go. All right, so let's get to the layout update. So, behind me, this is staging. And of course, that's the door that goes in the kitchen. So that's going to be the end of the layout, which is why it's staging. I'm working on 2 levels, but I'm focusing on the top level first. Let's see if I can bend the camera. There we go. And where that monitor is sitting at, that's actually going to be the bottom level of staging. Below it, we have some storage right there. And then if I shift the other direction, we have my computer desk, which is where I will be streaming tonight. And then keep going on, and I've got some storage and stuff, and this room is still kind of a huge mess, but it's going to be until I get things built around. And like I've got tables with building kits and buildings on it, and until I get that part of the layout built, they're going to have to sit on a table for the time being. But as I build the bottom level, I'm not going to be putting any track in right away, just on the staging side. Now, I'm not going to continue the bottom past that there, because the upper section is going to have things like tortoise switches and whatnot, and I'll need to get up under, and I don't want to try to climb between levels. So doing it that way. But here in a few minutes, I'm going to show you how I put my benchwork together. I'm using scrap plywood from the old layout, the Y-junction layout, and a lot of the measurements are off. They're just a little long. So I need to go cut some wood. So let me go cut some wood, and then I will show you how I put my benchwork together, and then we'll go ahead and actually hang a section and see if we can't get staging all the way over to the corner of the wall, where that red 4-foot level is. And maybe try to get some track laid too, so if time permits. Okay, so really the first thing we need to do when hanging anything up is, before you hang the first section up, you really need to measure to see how high up you want to go. I've already done that part, so we're going to kind of fast forward. But since I've already got one section hanging, now I need to take my level and draw a line, so that way I know where that next section needs to go. And I'm actually going to go ahead and draw my line all the way to the corner. Basically getting my level and getting just the edge of it lined right up to see exactly where I need to be. And then just take a pencil continue drawing the line. That's pretty level. We're going to go all the way over to the corner. And now we have a straight line all the way over to the corner. And because the next piece that we're going to be putting in is a quarter piece, and I probably should have had this ladder moved out of the way, which I'll find a better home for it in a minute. Now I'm going to take my level, and I'm basically going to do the exact same thing over here on this wall. Get my edge right up under that line. Look at the wall, the level. Make sure it's leveled on the wall. And now we have a line on both walls. And this will help as far as, like, you know, when we get ready to hang it up, now we know where to hang it up. And we actually have to have the 1x4 above it. Now, I'm only going to be making the grid, we'll put the plywood on after it's up. Okay, so now I got the boards cut. So now what we're going to do, and I'm just going to grab a couple of these so that way you can see. We're going to take and assemble the way that we need to assemble it. So, when you use 1x4s, and sometimes a 2x4, it's always a really good practice. Go ahead and kind of get your board set up so that way you know what you're looking at, and go ahead and make some marks. Because what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to drill your holes through the boards to help prevent splitting. So I've got my drill here with a 1/8 drill bit. I've got tons of these. These are deck screws, and these are 1 5/8 inch. And what I did was I used that 1/8 drill bit and hold up to the screw, so that way I can see the ramp of the screw, but I can't see the center set of it. And that way you know you got a good hole. You could go just a tad bit smaller than your center set, but you want to try to get most of that drilled out without going as wide as the ramps, because the ramps is what holds, you know, that extra piece on there. But go ahead and drill you 2 pilot holes, you know, here and here, and then when you put the 2 pieces together, get it drilled together and it will hold it a real good hold. So that's what I'm fixing to work on now. And once I get the grid all put together, because I've got several different sizes, you know, we'll do that. Oh, one other thing is, when you're measuring and cutting your wood, let's say that you're trying to go for an even 60 inches, okay? If you got a board like this, another board like that, and a board in the middle, like so, well, this middle board's not going to be 60 inches if you're trying to go from this edge to the top edge, all right? 1x4s are typically 3.5 inches wide and 3/4 of an inch thick. So since I have to factor 2 boards with a board upright in between, I had to take off 1.5 inches on that board alone. All right, so just keep that in mind. It's just basic math, and that just helps prevent to where you don't have to cut it twice. But if you wanted to, if you got boards that are going in the middle, you can always, you know, measure with the board instead of using a tape measure, and draw your lines and cut that way too if you wanted to. But to me, that's more work. It's just much easier if you go ahead and figure out all your math first, figure out what all pieces you need, and then cut. So, all right, I'll be back. Okay, so the grid is put together, and just so that way you know, this is 54 inches across and 69 inches this way. And the inside legs, or the inside braces, those 24 inches, 24 inches, 18 inches. And this side here, I'm actually going to flip it over. This is going to be up against the wall. This actually was some old baseboards in our house, and I was like, whoever built it or put it in actually put a routed edge right here. So let's see if I can show you a little better off look at the side. There you go. So I'm actually using that as because it is a 1x4, and I'm just going to use it on the part that goes to the wall. It's actually a better wood than the rest of the stuff, so I think it'll get a better hold on the studs. Also, another change is I originally told you 1 5/8 actually changed and went to a 2-inch. 2-inch screws got a better hold to it. So there you have it. So now what I'm fixing to do is flip this over. We're going to get it screwed to the corner of the wall. So it's going to be pretty stable on 3 sides, or 2 sides of it. What I'm going to have to do is put in a makeshift leg on the corner that's coming out from the room. It's just one of those things you got to do, and then once we build the bottom level, that leg will come out, and I will brace it against the bottom level, and then the bottom level will have legs. So, alright, let's get this thing on the wall so we can see what it looks like. Alright, so we got the grid up there, and of course I had to have some help. There's no way that one person could do this all on their own. But it's up there, and we put these 2 legs here just as supports for the piece that's coming out. And those are temporary. For right now, they're temporary. But I'll show you how I screwed these in. These are 2.5-inch screws. But the top screw, I added a couple of washers, so that way it's got a bigger surface area holding, because you know, as weight pushes out, the tension's going to be on this screw, not that one. That one's just, you know, to help this one, but more of that tension's on that screw. And I did that on every stud. So we got one there, come this way, there, and over there. I checked to see if there's a stud here, and I think there is one right here, so I do need to come back and add this one, which I will, so no worries on that. But it is pretty level. So now I just need to come in here and get a measurement on this and get this one put in and installed as well. And then that will complete staging as far as the basic bench work. Then we'll have to get plywood on it, and yeah. So, and getting plywood on this is going to be a fun project. Really fun project. So if I don't have it, I don't think I have a sheet big enough to do the whole thing, so this is going to take multiple sheets. And if it does, that's fine. But that is something that we will have to do, and I'll probably end up putting that sheet in the back corner in first, and then put this one in front of it. Alright, so this is where we're at. So we've got bench work all the way down the whole wall here. And of course I wasn't able to get any plywood on that, because I'm going to have to go buy some, because both directions is going to be longer than the width of 48 inches. So that's going to require a couple of sheets. It is what it is. But I went ahead, put some more cork down, because my original cork ended here, which allowed me to put in some more track and put in more cars. So yep, we got quite a bit adding on staging. I got to find another caboose, so that way I can move this whole line up, and then we'll have a 4th caboose to go there. And of course I've got the locomotives, I just ain't grabbed them out yet. Added another tote, basically that tote there. I've added into here. This is a JMRI for operations. I'm only going to do this with the 1960 era. As you can see, I also hung up the bill boxes, and I got to take all them labels off and rename them. And that's going to be for the later eras. We're still going to do the car cards and waybills for those. And if I'm not happy with JMRI operations, then I will eventually take that era and go back to car cards and waybills on it too. So we're going to run both types of options. But yeah, this is where we're at right now. And I still got that bottom tote that has to be added into the system. So I still got quite a bit to do. But right now we're up to 67 cars of rolling stock. And I don't remember how many locomotives. So, alright. Well, until next time, this is pretty much it for the layout update. So I hope to see you tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern, Sidetrack Sunday on my channel. I think we're going to go ahead and try to do some bingo, get that done and over with. I'll have to see how I can figure out how to set that up, because it's going to be kind of tricky. And then, other than that, man, y'all have a great week. Be safe out there and happy railroading.